Chapter 7, Fundraiser. It's extremely common for cross-country trekkers to raise funds for some kind of organization while on their journey. As previously stated in my reasons for walking across the country, I was doing it for myself. Fundraising hadn't really crossed my mind. A couple weeks in, however, I felt compelled to use the trip for some purpose outside of myself because of all the generosity I'd received. I made the choice to dedicate my walk across Texas to a nonprofit organization called Shower Up. They provide showers and mobile units to the homeless, as well as those in areas affected by natural disasters. This ended up being the most controversial and criticized part of my entire walk. Not that the walk was ever widely criticized by any means. This was just the time where I ended up receiving it the most. The idea of using a long-distance walk or bicycle rides to raise money was strange to me. Why not just donate the money you were going to spend on the trip? Is right along the lines of what I was thinking before embarking on my own walk. What I later came to understand that there is far more benefit to nonprofits that are supported by these trekkers than the proceeds themselves. One of those benefits is exposure. When somebody is walking across the country, there's quite a few eyes on them. When I got to Arlington, Texas, I took a 0 day. Thankfully, my friend Kristen let me stay in her apartment while she was out of town, so I didn't have to pay for multiple nights in a hotel. I took a day off, then got up the next morning with the intent of heading right out. I noticed, however, that I had gotten a message on Instagram the night before from Natalie Torres, a news producer working for NBC5 Dallas. She asked if I'd be able to do a quick interview, so I pulled up Zoom on my phone and spent some time being interviewed by Ben Russell. While I was able to share a little bit of my story, even more exciting was the opportunity to spotlight Shower Up and their mission. In addition to the Zoom interview, they also sent out a cameraman to shoot some of my walk through town later that morning. After the story went live, I noticed some new followers on my Instagram and some feedback on their Facebook page. I read through the comments and I saw that I was being hit with some criticism. I've put myself and work out in the open on the internet for years, and thanks to a couple of my short films blowing up, criticism from keyboard warriors is something that I'm a little too familiar with. My knee-jerk reaction was to defend myself, and I did. But I'll admit, their comments did make me think about what I was doing and why I was doing it. Was I really doing the right thing raising money for this organization through only one state? I could have raised money throughout the entire time. I could have just donated the money I spent on the trip to the organization. I ultimately had to come back to the baseline fact that I did not start this trip with the intent of fundraising. It was a selfish endeavor from the very start, with only one thing in mind: me walking across America. This fundraiser was an add-on to the walk, something I would have done and spent the money on regardless. At the end of the day, the walk wasn't going to solve the problem, but any kind of awareness I could generate with all these eyes on me was going to at least help in some small way. Although the criticism left doubt in my mind, the fundraiser did end up being successful, surpassing the original goal of $1,000 and giving some publicity to Shower Up. Leaving Fort Worth after spending my second night at Kristen's apartment, I had one of my more memorable interactions with a stranger. A man stopped me and asked where I was heading with all my belongings. "California," I responded. "No, you aren't," he rebutted. "Maybe there's a California street around here somewhere, but you ain't walking to the state. I'm sure you have a lot of stories to tell, but they ain't true." I wasn't exactly sure how to handle this situation, so I wished the man well and kept walking. I forgot about that interaction until I first crossed the California border, which only seemed appropriate.